Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Secrets of the Sire. We do this every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, talkradio.nyc, and streaming live on facebook.com/Secrets of the Sire, youtube.com/Secrets of the Sire. Just basically type in Secrets of the Sire, and you will get to us. We got a big show tonight. We got Black Panther Oscar chances. Just went up. Punisher Season 2 review. It was brutal. It was bloody, and that was really just me. And Bill Maher doubles down on Stan Lee. I am your host, Michael Dolce, and as always, I am joined by my cohort in crime, Mr. Hassan Godwin, Lord of the Radio. How you doing, sir?
It's really cold outside.
It is finally,
Really cold outside.
finally. But we are not alone. We're actually just breaking boundaries left and right. Last week
we weren't by ourselves.
Sitting
here.
Well, no, but see, it's on camera.
I didn't want to say anything.
On
but
camera,
there were
it's just
like
you and
other
I
people.
right now. On camera, it's just you and I right now. And so I go,
doesn't
bam, and then oh my god, we have everybody here. We have like a jam-packed show. So all the way next to Hassan. I'm gonna have to like point down and to the right. Yeah. Oh, I did it. It's great. Mr. Darren Sanchez.
Hello.
From Marvel Comics fame and also After Hours Press. You've been I think you're the Alec Baldwin or the Tom Hanks of our show now. I think
this is my third appearance.
I thought four. I think you're. I think
he guest hosts.
That's true, actually.
So
this is very true.
Guest host maybe then I was.
This is very true.
So we got to come up with a.
Now,
I was drunk the whole time though, so I don't.
I was drunk. That's why I wasn't here.
We're gonna have to
We could have been hanging out.
We're gonna have a battle of the guest co-hosts at some point down the line, and we are joined by Tia and Kelly from Geek Vibes Nation.
Hello, hello.
Welcome.
I'm going to second Hassan and say it's very, very cold out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're supposed to disagree.
Well, I'm going to start off on
I started it, so they can
so
agree with
warm
me.
out.
I'm supposed to agree with her. So actually, now I'm going to say it's really warm.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so
Gotta be
it's a little too
difficult.
warm.
It could be colder.
All right, so we are streaming live. You can actually go to secretsofthesire.com, and right on the right-hand side is the Facebook stream, and again, go to the YouTube stream. And we are... What's that? Son of a bee. I'll fix that. Here we go. And we are talking Black Panther Oscar nomination chances. Now, here's the thing.
Is that what we're talking about?
Here's the thing that we briefly talked about it last week, because it was kind of like one of those things like, oh, hey, he got nominated. It's an honor to be nominated. And then what ended up happening halfway through is that, oh, hey, they just won a SAG award for Best Ensemble Cast, and that's like the big award. And all of a sudden now their chances of taking home a Best Picture are actually pretty good now. So here's the stats. Although Black Panther wasn't nominated for any individual SAG awards, it took home the final award at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles. The win puts Black Panther squarely in contention for Best Picture, where it's nominated for 7 honors, including Best Picture. Actors make up a large percentage of the Academy, so their preferences can have an especially large impact on the Oscar race. In the last decade, the SAG Ensemble winner has gone on to win Best Picture at the Academy Awards half the time. So it works 60% of the time every time. Hassan, what are our over?
I have no follow up to that lead.
What are our over under odds here? What do we got?
Whether Black Panther's going to win an Academy Award for Best Picture, over or under?
Now
I'd say over 50.
Over 50% now?
Yeah.
Token. At
What?
First,
What was that?
At first,
wrong show.
did you take a toke of something good? Something.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
I'm gonna poll the room. What do we got? Over under 50%, 50-50.
I'd say under. I don't know exactly what it's running against, but
It's Roma. It's gonna
Roma?
be that, and probably Roma's gonna take it. But I say personally, just the political climate leads me to say over.
but probably over the half the movies on that list are politically motivated. So
I know.
there's like 6 or 7 of them.
I know, and I would ruin everything by no matter what he asked me, I would say it's all over. They're all over 50.
Okay,
Roma's
I
over
disagree
50.
with Hassan.
Bing, number one. All right, now.
I second disagree with Hassan. I'm going to go with under.
Okay.
In my heart, I would love to say over,
Mhm.
personally, but I'm going to go with under.
You are not taking or smoking, which is how
Right,
toking comes
right.
into.
She's a designated driver.
Yeah.
I would have to say I'm kind of in the middle. If it does win, it would be a massive accomplishment. And I personally have not seen any of the films that are in that category, but it's an action-packed film. It has a cultural relevance. It has heart. It has story. It has all these different concepts and aspects to it. So I really feel like that it would have what it needs to win an Oscar. Will it win, though? Is the Academy ready to give a comic book movie the best picture? I'm not sure.
The answer's no. All right, moving on. We're gonna go. No. It's a really it's an interesting conversation, though, right? So this is the first movie that broke the boundaries. It's the first movie that from our universe should have been The Dark Knight. I mean, I think that was when they had the 5 picture nomination thing.
Shouldn't have been.
Well, you said it was a good movie, but not a good Batman movie.
Oh man, I really have to disagree with Hassan here.
You see how it works here. I just say things, and then he just disagrees, and then I sit back and do nothing.
I'm not a fan of the movie, so I'm just gonna give my opinion.
I have to leave the show. I'm sorry.
Actually, you literally can't get out. The way you are boxed in right now.
I would have gone for Logan over.
Okay, I would have to agree with Hassan on
Dark
that
Knight.
one.
Logan over Dark Knight?
Over Dark Knight.
As the one to break the boundaries?
I would
way over Dark Knight.
See,
because Logan is actually a drama. It doesn't have a lot of traits of superheroism. Nobody wears a costume. There's none of so it can easily be considered an action drama. Whereas, there's a guy dressed like a bat. He's never going to win the Academy Award. There's a guy with
it's just nice to be nominated.
There's no superpowers in The Dark Knight. Yes, people wear costumes, but this is New York City. People wear costumes all the time outside.
Yeah, and none of them win Academy Awards for Best Picture.
That you know of.
Well, I mean, let's look at the merit of the film, right? I mean, obviously you have to go against what it's what it's competing against as to whether or not it's worthy of that picture, and as we've kind of mentioned before, the Academy tends to go with the more artsy. I was going to say that, but I was like, that would sound silly. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
It did sound silly. But in this particular case, like looking at Black Panther, it is a majestically shot film. There's a lot of, like you say, cultural significance, but also it's a good movie. Like it's a really, really good movie. Like it's solid start to finish. It does transcend what you would consider a Marvel movie. If this was not a Marvel film, I feel like it would have a better shot, right?
I don't think so. Do you think it's even the best Marvel film?
I think it's top 3. I put it in my top 3.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Now,
top 3, yeah, but I don't know if it's the best Marvel movie even. So to say,
but what you just said is exactly why I think having that Marvel tag on it is the reason it's not going to win, because as part of a larger story, no. I look at it from a standalone piece. I mean, you would sit there and a lot of people argue Infinity War is by far like the massive, not the gentleman all the way over there, but is like the best film that Marvel's ever done, or the culmination. I know you liked it, but
it's not a great movie, but I like it.
There you go. See, I knew it was there. But that's in the context of this 20 cinema, marathon we've been on, right? I mean, if you pull Black Panther out of the Marvel universe and just it has a solid start, middle, and end. It has a solid inciting incident. I mean, you're going into the depths of film. It's pretty good, right? I mean, it's definitely up there in terms of just a movie.
I agree. It was really well done, but I think it's still got that stigma as a superhero movie.
Yeah.
So when people mention it, they'll say it's the first superhero movie ever nominated for an Oscar, unless you count Jaws, because Chief Brody was kind of a superhero. But otherwise.
But he needed a bigger boat.
I always like
a superhero when you need a bigger boat.
I always like that guy. Then he gets eaten by the shark.
Well, Quint?
Oh, spoiler!
You like
spoiler.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you ruined it.
I know.
You ruined it.
I know. The Jaws reunion tour is going on. If it's not Black Panther, what wins? Hassan,
Roma.
You had said Roma.
Roma, probably.
What do you guys think?
What are the other nominees? You gotta mention the other nominees.
I do.
You have Green Book.
There's Green Book. There's
Black Klansman.
There's Green Book. There's Black Klansman. There's Roma. There's also Bohemian Rhapsody, didn't it?
I think so.
Yes. Yeah, that's it.
I think Green Book would have a pretty good chance of winning. That's getting a lot of awards and getting a lot of praise from critics.
It'll be something safe. ultimately. It'll be something safe like Roma or Green Book or something like that.
You know, the thing that makes Roma...
But I think Black Panther... Now, do I think Black Panther will win? No. But I do think it has the odds of it winning are over 50.
I'm actually going to agree with you. I think the SAG Awards completely changes everything, and the reason being now, it kind of broke another barrier. It won a prestigious award, something that it normally was not going to do. Now all of a sudden, I feel like Academy Award voters...
They might just be like, well, it won the SAG Awards, so...
It might. A Star is Born is another one. Vice,
Vice,
and The Favorite.
Then The Favorite. It might go for that.
That's the sleeper one, I think. Roma. What I think Roma has against it too is it's a Netflix movie, right? I mean so that also kind of broke barriers too because it's I think the first Netflix movie.
I'm telling you how I studied how the Academy decides things. Everything that we're considering is way too much consideration.
Really? Because
the Academy is just literally just takes things and puts it in a hat and shakes it around and then dumps it out. It's literally. There's more science to that than actually what the Academy does to pick its movies.
Really?
Yeah. Because I told you,
what is the size of the hat?
They bet on something. They vote on something. Oh, yoy. I'm done.
It sounds like I'm trying to legitimately explain things.
I'm trying to give this a little weight here, and this guy's giving me...
So you're saying it's a heavy hat.
I'm going to let you twist out there, baby.
That's why he wears the sunglasses inside, see?
So you can't see my eyes roll every time.
You know, it's like when you have a good joke and you pull it off, and then you try to do the sequel to it. I just tried to do the sequel to it. It just didn't work.
And then you explained it.
Yeah, I know.
So that made it even triple threat.
No, that actually makes it better. Now people can empathize.
Never explain.
No, you have to explain. You have to explain why the joke
Clint
didn't
Eastwood
work.
said never explain.
Oh, well, then that just about sums it up. All right. What did you ladies think in terms of what you think is going to be the winner out of all these films, though? You had mentioned Green Book a little bit. We got 2 minutes before commercials. We're going to go down the line and we're going to pick our winners.
It's either going to be Green Book or it really could be A Star Is Born, just because that too is getting all of these awards and nominations. So I wouldn't be surprised if A Star Is Born just comes out of nowhere and wins the Oscar.
Okay.
I could see Roma, and I agree with Tia. I think A Star Is Born would be not a huge surprise if that came through. It is getting a lot of recognition. Yeah. It is getting a lot of awards, and I think that it was a really great film. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Academy went with that.
Darren?
I'm rooting for Bohemian Rhapsody. It seems to be like the movie I enjoyed the most. I liked Black Panther, but I feel like they're kind of like the Astros. They're just happy to have made it to the World Series. Well, the Astros happened to win it, but now, that was just kind
sports
of
has no context whatsoever on this show.
You're right. Okay, you're right. They probably don't even know.
You and I can talk sports, but maybe you guys can talk sports with us as well too. No, okay, yeah.
But I think some movies are just happy to be nominated.
Yeah.
Maybe Bohemian Rhapsody is happy to be nominated. I'm sure they all are, but that's the one I'm rooting for. As far as which one I think will win. Probably Roma or something that I've never seen before like that.
Mm-hmm. It's on Netflix. You can watch it now. Do it during our show.
I probably
Give us the review. Segment 4. Hassan?
It's either between Roma or A Star Is Born. And that's because I know the whisper campaigns on both of those have been up over about $20 million. So
yes, the follow the money, right? Mm-hmm. Follow the money. I'm actually going to say favorite though, because I keep reading things about that movie that people just love it, critics love it, and it's one of those like sleeper films that's going to make it the favorite. All right, when we come back, I'll tell you what's not my favorite.
To suffer this every week.
Punisher season 2 review. The good, the bad, the ugly. Coming up next.
You're listening to The Talk.
Hi, everyone. This is Michael Dolce, host of the Secrets of the Sire radio show and podcast, and welcome to our Patreon launch event. To date, we've interviewed actor Kevin Bacon and rocker Chris Cornell. We spent a wacky week with a real housewife and played Love It or Shove It with a comic book icon. We've debated which TV shows everyone should be watching and channeled our inner force comparing Rogue One to The Force Awakens. And that's just the beginning. Become an executive producer and get an exclusive feed inside our studio before and while we air. Become a program director and receive our exclusive show outline with insider details on topics and guests hours before we go live. Or just be a fan, and for $0.25 a broadcast, we'll sing your praises on the interwebs every week. So if you like pop culture, movies, TV shows, and graphic novels, this is the Patreon page for you. Join us Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, Secrets of the Sire.
NYC. We're your digital connectors. Woo woo!
Talking Alternative Radio, 24 hours a day.
Captain America, the entire movie was about how he became Captain America.
Yeah.
And also World War II is kind of cool.
Except for the Jews. They don't think World War II is pretty cool.
Okay, you're right.
Secrets of the Sire.
Welcome back to Secrets of the Sire. We do this every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, talkradio.nyc, and we've got just a ton of Darren Sanchez drops. I think we have two.
Yes.
I think there's just
I think
two.
there's-
I
but
think
that's-
there's literally just two.
That constitutes a ton.
That's a ton. Yeah. Those are very heavy.
Yeah.
Take that, Pat Shand. Take that. Pat Shand will be on in 2 weeks, actually, so he's competing with you for Lord of the co-hosting, guesting. All right, we are talking... What? What are you hooing me on this whole time?
It's just long stretches for jokes, man.
They're not. That's not a joke. I'm really literally trying to go through and describe what
You're
it is that
you're
Darren
struggling
does
to
when
be-
he's here. I don't
you're
even know what
struggling
it
to be
is.
anecdotal. It's hurting me.
I'm struggling to be anecdotal.
It's very painful to me.
I'm struggling to be in the room with you right now. I think that's essentially what it is.
Then you're joining the back, man.
All right.
Everybody else is doing this.
You know what else I struggled through? It's Punisher season 2. Season 2
Was
of
it
Punisher
really a struggle? Did
hit
you really
Netflix. I will describe to you. Yes,
You
in
really
detail.
had a.
Let me
'cause
tell you why.
You got through it pretty quick, though. You said that
By
you
my
had-
standards, yes.
yes, by Dolce standards.
I
you
finished
did
it
well.
last night, so yes, I did. It did take.
But
a
you
while.
had already seen some of it like the week prior.
Yeah,
You've
so
been cutting through
Punisher has become over the years my favorite comic book character. It never was. I was always like Spider-Man or X-Men or things like that. I mean, that's the stuff I grew up on. But as I've gotten older, like I can open up a Punisher book at any point, read it, and just enjoy it, and then I go on my merry
He
way.
just kills somebody.
Well,
pretty simple.
you would think that the makers of the Netflix show would realize that, but they continually. This is the second season in a row that they've continually gotten bogged down in like, hey, we have to make this like a TV show and not a Punisher TV show. So I will digress. Not I digress. I will continue. Season 1. That works for me. Season 1 was a great show. Was it a great Punisher show? Not really, right? I mean, it was a great episode of 24, right? It was a great season of 24. It was basically Jack Bauer.
I've never seen 24.
Oh my
24 is
god!
awesome.
Oh my god! You have homework.
I've been told.
Have you
that
guys
by
seen
everybody.
24?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
I've
see,
never
okay, good. That was the shrug. It was. I
I've
thought
never
it was,
seen Breaking Bad either, so let's
No, I
just
haven't
get
seen that one
over
yet.
with.
I haven't
All
seen
right,
that
see,
one.
You
good.
haven't seen Breaking Bad?
No, I
I saw
know.
season 1 of Breaking Bad.
No,
I
now
haven't seen
I don't
anything
now
else.
I don't watch it out of spite because everyone's like, you got to see Breaking Bad.
Yeah, no, it's a protest.
And I'm like,
I,
well,
I
no,
wa- I don't watch out of protest.
tell me. So then season 2 starts out, and it's the first 3 episodes, and I'm thinking to myself, they're doing it. They're making a Punisher series. This is amazing. They introduce John Pilgrim, badass preacher-looking guy. I don't know his backstory necessarily from the comics. I don't care. I'm here, and it's putting Punisher exactly where Punisher needs to be. He is right. You know, he's messed up in a situation he didn't want to be part of, but boy, oh boy, are the bad guys in trouble now that they've roughed up the Punisher. And then for some reason, which I think it was obligation to cast because they had Madani and they had Billy Russo under contract. They're like, oh, by the way, we're gonna just pull you out. We're gonna drop you back into season 1 for like a good 6-7 episodes of doing, I don't know, a lot of talking, especially Billy Russo, who, you know, and he's somehow the psychiatrist is like, I guess wanted him the whole time, and it's like, oh my god, I got to sit through this. I got to sit through, you know, all this, and then meanwhile, Pilgrim by the end of the season finally comes back, And I'm kind of like, all right, I'm kind of over your story now because we never got really into it, and there's some crazy, what do you call, religious people when they have a son and he's gay, which shouldn't be a big deal now because it's 2019. I was gonna say 2018. It's 2019.
It's a big deal to who it's a big deal for.
No, I understand, but I mean, in terms of story, we've seen that before, right? A cooler one would have been if it was like two mob bosses who were gay. That I think actually would have been pretty cool because that would have been something a little bit different, even though Sopranos sort of did it a little bit. But anyway.
The one gay mobster and Tony going to a psychiatrist was also a stigma that he didn't want people to find out.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's angles you could play that is a little bit something different. And then he gets back to being Punisher by like the last episode, shoots everyone up, and he's shooting gang members by the end. But I had to go through. I've never hit the fast forward button in a Netflix show before. I hit it through episodes 7 through 11.
Oh, you breezed through it.
I had to. I was dying. I'm like sitting here. I'm like, if I'm in this psychiatrist's apartment one more time, like I'm good with this. I'm good. Your thoughts?
I literally feel my blood pressure rising because
you hide it well. You hide it well.
I think I watched The Punisher season 2 maybe 3 times within the premiere weekend. I loved the Punisher. I'm not lying. I'm really not. I think I stayed up Friday night until 3 a.m. and then woke up at 7 a.m. on Saturday and just went at it.
Yeah.
But I loved Punisher season 2. Punisher season 1 was great, but it took forever to get to some final freaking bloody scenes or anything like that.
Right.
And Frank Castle was just killing people. Yes, did he kill any real main characters until the very, very end? Exactly, okay? But he was just murdering people every single episode, the bloodiest battles. There were sometimes that I had to, like, turn away. I really enjoyed it. I thought he kicked ass. I loved the relationship that he had with Amy.
I loved it too, and that got thrown to the side, though,
and
right?
John Pilgrim was awesome. Fun fact: he's kind of based off of the character the Mennonite in Marvel Comics. Yeah. But he is an original character himself. I can't. I'm just gonna ramble and keep saying I love John Bernthal as Frank Castle.
Amazing Frank Castle.
If I have to pick one criticism, I absolutely couldn't stand the psychiatrist.
Yeah.
You are right. Now, am I going to complain anytime I get to see Ben Barnes shirtless and sexy? No, I'm not going to. I'm sorry.
That
guys.
was the psychiatrist's motivation. That was Hassan's motivation for watching too.
But I didn't like her. I don't know if it's the actress or the character that they wrote for her. I just thought that it's outplayed with the whole therapist falling in love with the patient. I will agree with that.
I never saw that coming.
Yeah, I know.
But besides that, to say that it was painful and you had to fast forward,
I had to fast forward. I had to fast forward through a lot of the quiet scenes.
I don't even know you. I mean, I don't know you, but I don't even know you.
Kelly?
So I have to certainly say I liked season 2 way better than season 1. I thought they got straight into the action. They eliminated a lot of that internal, emotional, what am I going through in my head thing. Though Frank got the opportunity to take that father figure aspect with Amy. But my biggest qualm about season 2 was Madani.
Oh, did you just see her? She was. What do you mean you didn't like it?
I'm sorry, but
that was a visual cue right there.
I know people didn't like Madani, but I saw no problem with her.
Here's why I had a problem with Madani. There was a line that she said, and I don't know it word for word, but it was something like, "I'm a strong, independent woman." The writers didn't write you as a strong, independent woman at all. So none of her actions
also, strong,
led
independent
up to that.
women don't usually say that.
I agree.
Agreed. And I think they wrote her to be a very weak character, annoying. She went through the same thing she went through season 1. There was no character progression whatsoever. And that was my biggest problem with season 2.
Darren, did you see season 2 yet or no?
No, I've seen it, absolutely. I agree kind of a little bit with all of you guys. I think there's a flaw with like the Netflix formula that Marvel uses, and that I think the writers get together and they put together an outline for like 6 great episodes, and they're like, oh shit, we got to film 13. So then it's like, okay, how about meaningless subplot A and meaningless subplot B, and they start putting those things in, and that's why characters, you feel like the show just screeches to a halt when certain characters come on screen because it's just filler. They're waiting to get back.
I loved when Madani came and saved him in episode 3. I actually thought that was pretty cool. And I was like, oh, this is great. They're going to team up and they're going to take on Pilgrim. No, we got to go back to New York City for Russo.
then it came back around, and I thought Pilgrim was going to team up with Punisher to take on Jigsaw. So there were good moments, and I think maybe it was the best of all the Marvel Netflix shows, just because it had that John Wick badass kind of thing going on. But there were those Netflix dragging moments, and I hated Madani too. For the very first time you see her, she's sitting next to this guy in a hospital bed, just staring at him. Yeah, and that's kind of ridiculous. Even if you hate the guy, just kill him or leave him alone.
Right, and they tried to work it in that she was, she couldn't pull the trigger. She was always trying to find someone else to pull the trigger. She was always, but I think I agree. Waste of a great actress, waste of a good character.
The psychiatrist I found kind of annoying, but Madani was way more annoying. In my opinion.
I couldn't stand the therapist where she comes out in that one scene where she's like, "Didn't you ever think I had love for you?" I was like, "Who wrote this?
No,
I have love
very
for you."
poor.
Obviously a guy.
Terrible.
Probably Jeff Loeb wrote that. And he hasn't felt loved in like 20 years. I don't know.
We're not going to actually ask Hassan what he thinks about the season. I put him in timeout in the corner there. No, Hassan, what are your thoughts? Are you echoing this? Are you agreeing, disagreeing?
Can you pick parts of it that you agree with?
See, I just love it. I set him up to just fail.
The greatest metaphor for how bad that season was the reveal of Billy Russo's face. Because they built that up. They built that up to such an extent.
I'm like, he's got a couple scratches.
Yeah, he's got like one. He's got like a scratch on his nose.
Now you're hotter. Yeah. Because you have scars now. Great, cool
like,
scars.
Wait a minute. They even did a moment where he actually took his mask off and then drank a glass of water, but he actually turned his head away from the camera, so you wouldn't be able to see how messed up he was. So it's set this like. And because of technology today, because of makeup today, they could have made him look gruesome.
CGI.
And he didn't look bad at all.
They were supposed to do it in After Effects, and
they fired the After Effects.
Did they get canceled like midway through filming? Like did Netflix call and be like, by the way, guys, you're canceled.
I don't know. Yeah,
like
I agree with Darren. I don't understand the formula. I don't understand because basically all of that could have been done in 5 episodes. They could have put the
5 really strong.
They could have taken exactly. They could have taken the Billy Russo stuff out and left it for season 3.
Damn it! We agreed. It's always bad for the show.
It would have been great if he came back in season 3, and then you'd have to reacquaint yourself with the whole thing, and then it could have actually helped since you're not so freshly acquainted with all the crap he did in the first season. You could actually more feel sympathy for him.
I agree.
But it was the Venom situation. It was the Spider-Man 3 situation where they crammed everything in. They had 2 basic villains.
Basically 2 storylines going on, but that wasn't the only thing that was wrong with it.
If you binge it, and this just might be me, after a while, by about episode 5, you're tired of seeing him kill people. You're actually exhausted, like, oh man, he's going to hit him with the barbell again.
Really?
Oh, okay, hit him with the barbell. Okay, he's going to punch him in the face.
Thank God I disagree.
He's going to roar, and he's going to punch him in the face over and over again, and he's going to
I just wondered how he was walking around after all the damage that he took.
That's a typical. That's a typical like.
You just get. It's just done to a point where you're. I agree also with Darren that it was probably the best of the Marvel Netflix seasons.
Okay.
And I agree that it was better than season 1. I liked season 1, but season 1 was a soap opera, and it wasn't even about the Punisher. It was about the other guy and his family, him getting back to his family. So at least this was all about the Punisher, and it was all about him. But it's just, I don't know. Everything that they did in the season, they had done in season 1. Everything that they had accomplished by the end of it, they accomplished they established the Frank Castle mythos. They established that he's a warrior that cannot sit still, that cannot not get involved.
Right.
They established everybody else around him that gets caught up in his earthquake or collateral damage. Who just hate
Pilgrim and Amy were 2 new characters.
Yeah,
and they were both really good.
They were new characters, but they were
they got relegated to the corner.
Yeah, they were all subservient to him. And it was. I liked it, but it's probably good that these shows are no longer.
When we come back, the worst scene from it, but I'm also going to agree with you on a tweet you did, but not about this Punisher. When we come back,
you're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
Do you love or are you intrigued about New York City and its neighborhoods? I'm Jeff Goodman, host of Rediscovering New York, a weekly show that showcases New York's history and its extraordinary neighborhoods.
Hi everyone, my name is Michael Dolce, creator of The Sire from Mike Books. The Sire is about a superhero forced by his own costume to fight evil. It's like having a spider sense, but instead of warning him of danger, it actually puts him in danger. It was first launched back in 2006 through After Hours Press, and was met with tremendous success. 6 issues and a trade paperback later, I thought The Sire's journey had reached a good stopping point. But a funny thing happened. As I continued working in comics, writing for Zenescope and co-creating Descendant for Image Comics, fans would meet me at conventions and continually ask when the next issue was coming out. Apparently, The Sire was far from done. And that's why I'm proud to welcome you to this Kickstarter, celebrating the Volume 2 trade paperback for The Sire, collecting issues 7 through 10 and featuring an amazing cover by Jim Calafiore of Aquaman.
Do you know how long it's been since anyone to sacrifice all your
myself?
beliefs?
Yeah,
just for the
to give
show?
up all my beliefs. Well, I actually don't really have any beliefs, which is why it's been so hard for you to find out what my beliefs are to get me to portray them. I'm kind of a nihilist. I don't really believe in anything, except for sandwiches.
Secrets of the Sire.
Welcome back to Secrets of the Sire. We're talking Punisher Season 2 review. We all agree it was the worst thing ever. We've never seen anything worse than that, and it was just terrible. We've been definitely going through a lot of it. Underwhelmed, I think would be.
Don't listen to them, John.
It was good, but it was underwhelming.
For those just joining us, we've got myself, we got Hassan, we got frequent collaborator Darren Sanchez
/ guest host,
and we've also got 2 wonderful ladies from Geek Vibes Nation. Why don't you just talk to our audience a little bit for 30 seconds? Give your quick bio and what you guys do and all that fun stuff.
I'm the top writer for Geek Vibes Nation. We are kind of your one-stop shop for everything geek. DC, Marvel, movies, TV shows, whatever you want, we have it. On Sundays, we host a top 10 list, which kind of changes every single week. I'm the host, so if you want to hear my voice for about 2 hours straight, then just tune into that.
I'm surprised people want to hear mine.
And if you want to hear interviews with some really great people, writers, actors, actresses, really great place to go. I just started with Geek Vibes Nation, but I've been freelance writing for a while, so I've been in this space, and I'm happy to join Tia on Geek Vibes.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to have you as well, too. All right. This was the scene that I thought was just like summed up my fiery rage at Punisher Season 2. Now, again, the first 3 episodes I thought were just awesome.
I really thought that first episode was exceptional.
Great.
Exceptional.
Yeah.
Like, the one thing, before I even talk about the scene, though, the one thing I don't understand, why are people afraid to do a Punisher show? Like, why are people afraid to, like, he doesn't have to have this, like, wrestling depth of, like, am I doing the right thing or am I not? Is my code broken? Is it not? Are the people close to me to get hit? No, just, he's an animal. That's what he is. Just let him loose on people. Like you said,
I think that's the worry. I think
That's
they're
the thing,
concerned.
though.
Yeah.
Humanizing, like, the quote-unquote villains now is what all the shows are doing. I mean, they got to have a backstory. They have to have a redeeming factor.
You can have that with all the characters around him. Just let him be the Punisher.
Yeah,
and they did for 3 episodes.
I don't think you can have him actually be an animal through that. He's got to have some depth to him.
Sure.
If you're gonna dedicate 13 hours to him.
I know.
So there's got to be a little something to him.
All right.
You got fatigued already with the violence, and now you're
No, Hassan did. I was cool with it. I was cool.
I did.
I was totally fine with it.
I was totally. I look. Actually, nothing in that show actually beat that opening bathroom scene.
Yeah, God.
There was nothing that beat that, and that was so satisfying.
Yes,
you know, and there wasn't. They should have upped the ante from there. but it actually kind of dropped beneath that, and then it just became literally watch that show again and just watch how many times someone gets hit in the head with a barbell.
Yeah.
I mean, in not just one fight, like in multiple fights, there's always, for some reason, weights around, and someone gets hit in the head with a barbell or a weight, and it just became rudimentary after a while.
Even the junkyard fight at the end.
There was
just out of the blue. Hey,
oh look, I found the shovel. I'm gonna hit you with this. And plus, like, how many times can you get hit in the head with a shovel?
That's a Live Free and Die Hard.
Twice.
Live Free and Die Hard was the movie that for me started this, where basically they like everyone's like superhuman. Like that was the movie where Bruce Willis drives a truck through Kelly U, and then she gets up.
Is that Kelly U?
I thought it was. Wasn't
No.
it? Oh no. What's her name? She was in Designated Survivor 2.
Yeah.
Not Kelly U,
but yes, he does run her over, and she's fine.
Yeah, like she's fine. Like I know my dad and I are kind of sitting there going like, she should be dead.
Yeah,
or at least unconscious at the very least.
And then he made a whole bunch of Chinese food jokes, on top of that. So I mean, that was just
that was just brilliant.
That was that era. We could get away with that.
No. But the scene, actually now thinking about it, there's two scenes that were travesty. The one I was going to mention was the scene where he supposedly kills the innocent girls that happen to be in there, and he goes through like the PTSD like there. Yeah. And I'm saying, this is Frank Castle. He kills hookers too because they're breaking the law. Like that's his character. Like why would he be all of a sudden upset?
Yeah, but that's television morality, like you couldn't do that. You couldn't have him do that because that's the problem with doing a Frank Castle thing. In our age of giving three-dimensionality to all our villains, every time he just comes along and arbitrarily kills one, he actually seems more and more like the bad guy.
Yeah.
So naturally they have to keep him on an even keel where he's like.
There's a point of view.
That's what my mom kept telling me, but I still kept sacrificing those goats. But
they had it coming. They looked at you funny.
The goats. What are goats doing in the
Look, it's your mom's fault. She moved next to a petting zoo. Like, what are you gonna do? They're right.
That's how I looked at it. You didn't want me to sacrifice these goats.
This
we would
isn't
not
real,
be on
by
a
the way.
farm.
This is pretend.
I never killed a goat.
The other question too was like the hospital scene to me was also one of those things where it's like how are just people getting to Frank Castle so easily? Like everything's happening, and then you have. You have your obligatory Deborah Ann Wool, appearance from Daredevil. Like she's got to be there.
Hello.
She's like, well, I got nothing to do now because Daredevil's canceled.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd just drop by.
And I sort of love Matt Murdock, but I also sort of love Frank Castle.
Yeah, I know. And he sort of loves.
Have you seen those two guys? I mean, geez, how can a girl choose? I'm just sorry.
I guess so.
I'm just gonna disagree with everything you guys said in this whole entire show.
The other major problem with it, although, it's like I've never seen New York that empty. Every time there was a gun battle, there was like one pedestrian. Like, oh no, guns, run away.
No, they got canceled halfway through. They're like, your extras budget is over. Yeah. You've got no room.
They were down like by the UN, and no one was on the streets.
Yeah,
and then bullets flying all over the place. Not one accidental casualty. Nothing.
Yeah. No one dies. It's Disney.
Well, yeah. Plenty of people died.
Everyone who dies had it coming.
Yeah, exactly. everybody had license to die.
So T, I know you vehemently agree with us. Clearly, out of all this. And here's the thing: all of this criticism actually comes from a place of love. I love this character. I love what they were almost going to do with him in the season, and they completely, pulled the rug out. You tweeted something though that I wholeheartedly agree with, which is you just tweeted a quote from what might be the best Punisher ever. Which is the 1986 or 87? What was it, 87? Dolph Lundgren Punisher.
I thought it was 89.
It was 89. It was in the
Probably
80s. I was really, really young.
It's in the 80s, it's 89.
And what was the quote? It was...
it was something along the lines of, what do you call killing 125 people within 5 years? And Frank Castle goes, work in progress.
And it was just... That to me right now is still like the ultimate Punisher representation adaptation. Disagree? Agree?
I want to say really quick that if you saw, there was like a little bit of discussion there where it's like that was 125 people within 5 years. I'm pretty sure within the Netflix realm that this Punisher has killed that in 6 months.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. No, absolutely. I mean,
he
just
blew away a room full of kids in the last scene. So there were at least 20 people in that room when he came with the 2 machine guns.
He's got a quota.
Yeah. He's trying to beat Dolph Lundgren's record.
Yeah. Well, that's.
I think he's got him beat.
That's the thing too. It's funny we mentioned it, right? There's trying to adding three dimensionality. I'm gonna make that up and butcher that. I'm really tired, guys. I'm just gonna let you know. I'm running on fumes.
He's got two kids.
Oh, man, it's crazy. But at no point do I really ever. I want to hear out of Frank Castle's mouth I'm here to kill. Like it's so definitive in the comics. I'm here to kill criminals. If you're a criminal, it doesn't matter, what you do. If you break the law, you break the law. And he never.
I guess they're trying to point out that he got to that point by the end of this.
Yeah, right.
So,
which was
for
at least
season 3 that will never happen.
Right.
You'll get exactly the Punisher that you want.
These were kind of the origin story of him.
The long drawn out, 26 episode long.
I know.
I kind of got to that part though in Daredevil season 2 where he was saying to Matt that he puts people down and he takes pride in it. That no part of him, and then even I'm so sorry, but
you're right.
When Madani says in season 2 of the Punisher, Billy went and killed that old man, he's like, I don't freaking care. The guy was a pedophile. Screw him.
Yeah.
So we got little bits of pieces of it.
Punisher in Daredevil was actually closer to Punisher than anything else, right? Because they didn't have to build a world.
That's a play off of Daredevil.
Yeah.
There wasn't that counterbalance for him in this show where you can show his morality and show.
Well, you have to show his morality.
They kind of forced his morality with the prostitutes getting killed. And when he found out that he didn't actually do it, suddenly he's okay. It's like they're still dead.
I will say that I did cry during that scene. that whole end of episode 10 with then Curtis holding the soldier in his arms dying. Right? I really like Curtis too.
I love Curtis.
Bring
him back in season 3.
Curtis was great.
Bring him back in season 3.
Oh my god, it would be so amazing. Could you see him and he'd actually be happy? And then Frank Castle, of course, would knock on his door and he'd be like, "God damn it, Frank!"
He'd have to die. He would have to. You don't want him back in season. No, but I'm just saying they should have brought Curtis. They should have brought Madani. They should have brought Billy Russo all back in season 3. You took the words out of my mouth when all of a sudden we're pulled back there. I'm like, or make it. At least give us 6 straight episodes of the John Pilgrim story, because you could have actually done that straight through, resolved it, and then maybe midway through Billy Russo comes back. And
they should just
that
10
changes
episodes.
Everything.
Every Marvel season should be 10 episodes. They would make great seasons with at least maybe 3 episodes less.
Yeah, Iron Fist season 2 definitely benefited from the whole 10 episode, kind of structure. Which I had heard that's what they want.
Didn't redeem it,
but listen, I liked Iron Fist season 2 a lot better than Iron Fist season 1. Obviously, it had so many problems.
The problem with Iron Fist season 2 was that there was an Iron Fist season 1. That's the biggest problem with it. But it was a better show.
Yeah.
It was better constructed.
Yeah. So
a better showcase.
I threw this out on Facebook. Yay or nay to Punisher season 2. We've kind of expressed we were all nay against it, and that's just final. That's it. It's been done. But I did get a great comment from Greg Matisoff from Bad Coyote Funky. He thinks John Bernthal should be the next Wolverine. What do you guys think when we come back?
You're listening to the Talking Alternative Network.
Introducing The Mainstream, created by Michael Dolce, Talent Caldwell, Tony Moy, and Darren Sanchez. It tells the story of an interdimensional police force, polices alternate realities, keeps bad guys from other worlds from getting into ours. Issue 5 in stores now. Order it at your local comic book store or go to mikebooks.com/store. Hi, everyone. This is Michael Dolce, host of the Secrets of the Sire radio show and podcast, and welcome to our Patreon launch event. To date, we've interviewed actor Kevin Bacon and rocker Chris Cornell. We spent a wacky week with a Real Housewife and played Love It or Shove It with a comic book icon. We've debated which TV shows everyone should be watching and channeled our inner force comparing Rogue One to The Force Awakens. And that's just the beginning. Become an executive producer and get an exclusive feed inside our studio before and while we air. Become a program director and receive our exclusive show outline with insider...
vision for the film and decided to part ways.
Yeah, that's one of those things where these guys showed up really late to this meeting and they were drunk and they were throwing cake around and we decided to get them out of the building. That's kind of the creative differences. That, or I might be speaking from personal.
That was your bad experience.
Secrets of the Sire.
Welcome back to Secrets of the Sire. We do this every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, talkradio.nyc, and streaming live, youtube.com/Secrets of the Sire, facebook.com/Secrets of the Sire. We've had a packed house, but luckily we've had a lot to talk about. Before we go to Spin the Racks, which is our weekly news segment, Greg Matisoff, Bad Cowity Funky Podcast, go check them out. They stream live on Twitch every Thursday night around 10 o'clock, which I'm in bed by then because I'm old. Yeah, I really am. It's sad. But he actually threw it out there, and I guess, Tia, you're saying this is something people have been throwing out there a lot. John Bernthal should be the next Wolverine. He is pint size compared to a lot of folks on screen. He would make the perfect Wolverine. He would solve the Hugh Jackman height issue, and he's got that, that whole thing. I love it. I love the idea of him being the next Wolverine. What do you guys think?
I could definitely see it. He grows a great beard.
That's right.
Some people have pitched Tom Hardy, which I wouldn't mind as well. But John
He'd be
Bernthal,
great
if they
too.
wanted to throw him in, I think he would do an amazing job at it. He would embody it just as well as, maybe even better, than Hugh Jackman would.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great choice if he wanted to dive back into like a Marvel comic book type of role.
Chris Evans, right? He was Human Torch, and he was Captain America.
Yeah.
He did it. He did it, right? Darren, did you see John Bernthal as the next Wolverine with Fox coming over? What do you think?
I think he'd be perfect. He's a great actor. He's got great attitude, which Wolverine has, and which Hugh Jackman really doesn't have. He comes across as a really nice, good-looking guy, and that's not really Wolverine.
Yeah.
But Hugh Jackman did a great job for 10 years or however long it was. But
20 right now, right?
But,
17.
Yeah.
Well, John Bernthal though, he'd do great.
He'd kill it, right?
I don't think he's pint size. He's like an inch taller than me, so he's huge.
Well, compared to Hugh Jackman, that's just like
That's awesome. That is really great. Hassan doesn't make me laugh like that. Go ahead, Hassan. Real quick, Bernthal, Wolverine. No. Who's your Wolverine?
Probably Tom Hardy is better.
Think
Is
so?
a better idea. The only reason why Bernthal can't be Wolverine is because he's the Punisher.
No, not
the
anymore.
MCU
not
has
anymore.
Nah, he's the Punisher in the MCU.
That's true. That's true.
I liked Hugh Jackman.
No, I think
because
we all
I was a
liked him.
huge Wolverine fan, and when I saw Hugh Jackman, I was like, that is not Wolverine. That's never gonna work.
Right,
and then
6'3"
yeah, and then 3 minutes in, I'm like, Wolverine. Wow, welcome Wolverine. And so, I mean, I guess and I can't claim that anybody else would be any better or worse at the role until you actually see them.
Yeah.
And I think Heath Ledger taught us that,
Right.
But right now I just cannot see him being replaced. I think he's added so much nuance to that role that whoever comes up after him is going to be doomed to be constantly compared to Hugh Jackman.
I think the whole X-Men team will be different, so that Wolverine will have that benefit of not being the only new cast person. And if you'll remember, when Hugh Jackman came out as Wolverine, he was going up against like 6'9" Tyler Mane, so that made him look smaller.
Yeah.
And I have a photo with Tyler Mane where I come up to like.
That guy was enormous.
Yeah, that guy. Very nice guy though.
I was in the green room once, and
You didn't like him?
he came in and there was no food left. And I saw another side of Tyler Mane, and I just left really quickly. That's that story really has no ending because I ran away. But basically, I felt the wrath.
You felt the wrath.
Yeah, I met Sabretooth.
All right. We do this every week. We go spinning the racks, bringing the most fantastical pop culture news.
Spin the rack, spin the rack.
Taking on Bill Maher, doubles down on Stan Lee. So Bill Maher, to adult comic fans, I'm not glad Stan Lee is dead. I'm sad you're alive. Following the death of Stan Lee, the Real-Time host published an essay titled Adulting, in which he addressed his passing. America is in mourning, deep, deep mourning for a man who inspired millions to, I don't know, watch a movie, I guess. Maher's blog was met with anger by many comic fans, while Lee's production company slammed the talk show host, his comments as frankly disgusting. But then he doubled down. He went back on his show on HBO, and he elaborated more. He said, "I'm agnostic on Stan Lee. I don't read comic books. I didn't even read them when I was a child. What I was saying is, a culture that thinks comic books and comic book movies are profound meditations on the human condition is a dumb effing culture." And then he got subsequently slammed on Twitter even more.
Which kind of proves his point.
Actually, wait. That was the whoa. You read my show notes today. That's the very next thing he said. And for people to get mad at that just proves my point. That's exactly his word for word. So is he really? I mean, is he really wrong in that sense?
He's dead wrong, but he's entitled to his opinion.
He's dead wrong on purpose because he's trying to get people to notice him and create controversy because it makes for better TV. And also, if he says in the first sentence that he's never read comic books even as a kid, and then the second sentence is that we're all a bunch of idiots, that doesn't really make sense because he doesn't know enough about comics to make that call. So
yeah, he's
just being controversial.
It was just designed to piss us off.
But
if you get pissed off, you're feeding into his.
But that's the whole thing, right? I know. Isn't that like the whole commentary on society? Like
sure.
Well, he's not wrong about the outrage culture that we have, you know, and he's not wrong for trying to manipulate it. He's wrong about because you can't broad brush any.
It's a safe audience to attack. You can't go on and say feminists suck. Okay, you can't really say that outright like that. Bill Maher picked the perfect audience to pick on because
it's not a demographic, pretty much.
Yeah, it's a very safe way to create controversy and not come out looking like an asshole.
Did you guys on Geek Vibes cover this story? Was there blogs upon blogs and comments upon comments?
There really wasn't any blogs, just more so of a Twitter post. I mean, I just don't see what's really the point of Bill Maher wanting to attack a community of people who find interest, who find joy. You have some people who are not well in health-wise, and this is the one thing that makes them happy, and Stan Lee made them happy. The guy's dead, so why do you really have to try and go and shit on his legacy or something? I just didn't understand it. Why did you want to do that? Am I outraged? No, he can say whatever he wants. I've heard a lot worse from people who are in much higher positions of power.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand why he's decided to sit there and go, you know what? In a community that feels that this is the community where we can see representation of all races, genders, sexuality, yada, 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 I'm going to attack them. I just don't see the point of that.
Yeah, he continued at the end of the thing.
The point was so we could be sitting here talking about
it. I know.
Yeah. But I'm not going to become outraged.
I think also one of the things he was talking about too was the adulting culture, though. The fact that it feels like, he used some tweets as an example, like, "Hey mom, I'm eating my vegetables, #adulting," or "Hey, I made my eye appointment, #adulting." He's like, "You should make your fucking eye appointment. Like, it's not hard. It's not like this monumental achievement that you guys have done." He says you can if you want, like the exact same things you liked when you were 10, but if you do, you need to grow up. That was the point of my blog. I disagree with that at that point too.
Yeah, but I mean, like, look, if he wants to go around telling people how they should act, that's his business. We don't have to listen to him.
Well, what's really his career? He's just on TV being outraged and getting people outraged. Right. #adulting.
#winning, I think, at that point.
Right? Yeah, he's on TV. Yeah.
How many Yankee fans, back to sports, sorry, or any fan of a sports team is a fan because they became a fan when they were 10 years old because they watched it with their dad or something like that. a lot of that stuff you associate with your father or your big brother or that sort of thing, and that's why you got into it. And so there might be some connection to that for you. So
well, it's funny you mentioned that. David Keel, former Wizard employee as well too, actually chimed in on the post that I put up there, and he said that exact thing. He's like, Bill Maher's a big sports fan. Like, wasn't he into sports when he was 10 years old? Like, shouldn't he grow up? Like,
sure,
you know.
And there are times in sports where I think it's stupid that I actually care what these guys
Bite your tongue.
do, but I do. I'll stay up just to see if the Astros won.
Yeah, I cared how Luke Skywalker was depicted. So I mean, I can't claim any super maturity, but I don't know. Like, he was depicted very badly.
It's a whole different show.
But you can't get. I don't know. Bill Maher's who's Bill Maher? I mean, I know who he is. I've watched his show. I enjoy his show. But so he doesn't like comic books and comic book people. He doesn't like religion either. He's been telling me that God doesn't exist for 20 years. You know, so I'm going to get outraged that actually that he's mocking Wolverine.
That you wouldn't get outraged about, but then
that's what I'm saying. If no
call Batman stupid, and then we got problems.
And that's why I'm saying he might have a point, because this is not nearly the most controversial thing he's done or said. And then people are coming like, well, what about this? Or what about you do this? And it's the adoption of the whataboutisms and whatever. Just don't listen to him. Just ignore him. Don't watch his show. We're safe.
Take your advice and watch ours instead. This was fun, guys. Packed house, good stuff. We all agree. Punisher season 2 bad. Black Panther will win it all. Bill Maher is stupid. Next week, we'll figure something out.
We accomplished nothing.